lose for the first time this season. Listen, Minnesota kind of boxed them in, and despite having one of the best rosters in football, a lot of errors and sloppy against the Vikings, Brock Purdy knows the team didn't execute like they're capable of.
It's as simple as executing. We got the players, we got the scheme, it's dropping back and executing, knowing where my answers are at, and getting the balls into the guys' hands and drop stepping and getting first downs. And it's all of that. It's football, man. Just because you got really good players and good scheme doesn't mean the other team's going to give it to you. You have to go out and earn it. So we've had to learn that the first 2 games of the season. So hopefully we can be better next week.
Or maybe it was Sam Darnold. He was pretty good.
Any thoughts on Brandon Ayuk's slow start to the season? You care to chime in on that? I mean, he can't get open, can't catch the ball.
Well,
go ahead, say something. Say something mean.
I said before, the idea that he wasted, 6-7 weeks of camp, like he was going to get a better situation than the 49ers, this offense, this coach. Go play in Carolina. Go play in New England, see how much fun it is. I mean, you wasted, forget wasting the team's time, you wasted your time. I don't get it, the whole holdout thing. He had a year left in his contract. Can you imagine in any other business, if you had a year left on your contract and you're demanding this, you've earned this slow start. That's on you.
But Christian McCaffrey, this is like a real thing now. You got Ian Rappaport coming out saying it could be 6 weeks. Shanahan's like, we don't know.
I will say, in a strange way, that's a double dose of good news. One, McCaffrey will be fine. He's coming off back-to-back huge, heavy usage years. Mm-hmm. And secondly, it gives their backup plenty of reps. I've said before, this is a Super Bowl win or bust team like Kansas City. Having McCaffrey not have to play until like last week of October is not the worst thing in the world, because they become, even with all their players, they become incredibly Christian McCaffrey reliant when he's there. It's almost like he's an automatic 6 yards, so just give him the ball. Yeah. And it's nothing against Shanahan, but the truth is, this may be the way for McCaffrey's last several years in the league to play him. Just get him ready by October. Because all of Shanahan's backs end up flourishing. All of them do. His dad was the same way.
It's a weird thing with the Chiefs and Niners. It's like, they lost. They don't look good. Who cares? They're going to be in the playoffs. Yeah. All that matters is health. We should probably say something nice about Brian Flores and his defense and what they've done in Minnesota for the first 2 weeks.
Well, I think we both believed he was a really good football coach.
Yeah.
And he had a Tua issue. But if you go back to the Miami year where he was a head coach, by week 8 of his rookie year coaching, they had an identity on special teams and defense. Brian Flores is excellent. Yeah. Now, everybody's always talking about who deserves a second chance. If Todd Bowles gets a second chance, and I think Todd's very capable, Brian Flores, but Todd's more likable, and Todd's more laid back. Like everybody likes Todd Bowles. Brian Flores can be polarizing.
Yeah.
But Brian Flores can coach, period.
Certainly. Well, to coach defense. We don't know about head coach.
Yeah.
Final note. You saw the schedule on the screen there?
Yeah.
Niners at SoFi this weekend against the Rams. I can't believe it only opened 7.5.
No,
First bet I made this week.
San Francisco.
Up to 8 now.
Puka and Cooper are out. I don't know how the Rams and the Niners basically got pushed around the field and humiliated. Niners will win that game, that thing, whatever they want to win it by.
Well, just by the way, Kyler Murray looked incredible against the Rams. What do you think Purdy's going to do? And off a loss, I mean, it's a bad spot for your Rams. Well, I'm sure we'll get to the Rams eventually.
Maybe we'll find time for it.
Syrup or whatever you have got to take. Next up, Colin, I've never been out of Survivor this early before. The Baltimore Ravens choke away a fourth quarter lead. They're up by 10 with 12 minutes left and just gag. Could not get a stop.
I'll say this for the Raiders, though. That fight.
Well,
come on now.
I think this is more about the Ravens. They're now 0-2 for the first time in 9 years. The last time they went 0-2 did not make the playoffs, I believe. Baltimore, and Lamar, nobody was good on Baltimore. I'm sorry, Harbaugh not even great. Yeah. Lamar knows they got to figure things out fast.
We got to find our mojo. We got to find and do what we do, because that's not us at all. Just got to find a way to win. Like you said, I'm not used to being 0-2. You just got to catch our momentum and get it started right away.
So we talked about the loss of McDonald, the defensive coordinator who's in Seattle. Colin, I don't know. They could not stop Brock Bowers, Devontae Adams, and Gardner Minshew.
Brock Bowers is lining up outside and beating corners.
He's a problem.
Brock Bowers is, Kyle Pitts we thought was going to be something. Brock Bowers already. They line
That's
him
a
up
good point,
outside and can beat corners.
But to Baltimore's defense, how do you let Gardner Minshew complete 83% of his pass? What? Gardner Minshew? And now they got the Justin Tucker kicker situation. Every kicker's banging 50-yarders like it's nothing. Tucker misses from 56.
For the record, what happened in this league? It's like a layup drill. Guys are hitting 54-yarders, and the ball is 3/4 up the net.
Very weird.
It's crazy.
And wait till we get to the passing numbers. The passing touchdowns through 2 weeks are like half of what they've normally been. It's a weird league. I am curious. Can the Ravens turn it around? I don't know if we have the schedule on the screen.
I feel better
Colin,
about the...
look,
I know.
Dallas this week, that's basically a pick 'em. I think they're favored by 1. And look at that. After that, Buffalo, Cincinnati. One of my calls this offseason was a massive regression from the Ravens.
You were right.
This is not a playoff team.
No, you're right. It's funny. Rams 0-2 are in trouble because they have their whole offense is on the IR. I mean, it's a mess. Puka, offensive lineman, they get their left tackle. Yesterday, they didn't have a left tackle in the building. So, and the Ravens 0-2, the defense has regressed, and the O-line is not good. Cincinnati 0-2. I don't know. I watched them yesterday. They're big,
Yeah,
and their tight ends are a problem for
T.
Kansas
Higgins
City.
is coming back.
Yeah, they're
Right.
gonna, and Burton's gonna get better. Cincinnati's okay.
This game against Dallas next week. That
Who
might,
do you like?
I don't know if it's a game of the week.
Let's guess the line. Can I guess the
Well,
line?
I think I just said it.
Oh, you did?
Ravens by 1. They're favored by 1. Dallas coming off a big loss.
No, Dallas off a humiliating loss.
Well, you don't think this is humiliating for the Ravens? Up by 10 on those sad sack Raiders? Come on. Yeah, that is... I don't know. That's a tough game. I don't think it's going to make the Blazing 5. I mean, you go against Lamar? We got to talk a little Cowboys later in the show. Anyways, Final story is Monday Night Football tonight. Eagles against the Falcons in Philly. However, news over the weekend, A.J. Brown, hamstring injury. He's going to miss the game. It'll be the first regular season game he's missed since joining Philly in 2022. He had played in 37 straight regular season games. The line has dipped down to 5.5. Still a lot of uncertainty around Kirk Cousins and
we
his
don't
injury.
know if he basically, he and Aaron Rodgers don't leave the pocket.
Well, they can't leave the pocket.
I mean, you hike it to him, he steps and throws. There's real limitation. I think Atlanta's going to play much better. Listen, Pittsburgh's defense in the first 2 weeks has discombobulated some pretty talented offenses.
Yes,
I mean, discombobulated Atlanta and Denver, so some of it could be this Philly defense is not even close to Pittsburgh. I think Atlanta's going to show well tonight.
Yeah.
I don't have it. I'm not betting it, but I would take Atlanta. I know I'm in the minority here. If Kirk Cousins can't move at all, I think Pittsburgh scared him a little bit. I think this defense tonight he'll face. I think Atlanta's going to show well tonight.
Well, the primetime underdogs this week.
I know.
They both covered. Bills win outright, and the
Underdogs
talk about the
had a
Bears.
very, very good weekend.
But underdogs are great. Yeah, Packers show. Underdogs did well, but
You had the Packers.
I did have the
Nice
Packers
call.
and the Browns, but I didn't have all of them. And
Yeah.
not a great week for your boy.
All right, J-Mac with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
So it's week 2, and Dallas is already Dallas. It felt like that Green Bay game in the playoffs. I mean, a very young, smart offensive coach. It happens to be the Saints' new coordinator. Clint Kubiak took the Cowboys to the woodshed. Honestly, it felt like a Southern California 7-on-7 drill. They kept scoring standing up. Were they wearing the red jerseys? Don't tackle them. It was brutal. So, number one, let's give the Saints credit. They've got a new offensive coordinator, and they got speed deep. Said first Jet win was a long time coming. I'll just say the game should not have been that close. Will Levis, and I've never seen this. Will Levis, year 2 young quarterback. His coach appears to not only be dissatisfied, he doesn't like him personally. He said after week 1, we should just punt. Yesterday, he's like, what in the blank are you doing? He doesn't like him. It's almost like the Will Levis criticism, the narcissism is rubbing the coach the wrong way, but that game should not have been that close. If you're a Jets fan, 2 things you have to be honest about, because there are good losses in this league. Cincinnati lost a good loss. At Arrowhead goes down at the end of the game, and there are bad wins. That's a bad win. 2 things you got to be honest about. Aaron Rodgers is no longer an elite athlete or a mobile quarterback. which is a big disadvantage in 2024. He doesn't move. He stays within a 3 to 4 foot radius. He can't and will not extend plays. He is an old quarterback that doesn't move. I said it last week. He's now closer to Goff and Kirk Cousins than he is Kyler Murray.